Let me run a scenario by you. You've got a smart TV, you want better audio, but you don't want a complicated home theater system. How do you do that? What can you do to get better than soundbar audio without a lot of complications? That's what we're talking about in this video, where we are going to be reviewing the Arylic BP50 DAC. So what is the Arylic BP50? Well, it's this little guy right here. So essentially it's a DAC that's got a lot of functionality, but the biggest feature is it has HDMI Arc. And what that means is that through one cable to your TV, just the HDMI cable, you can connect it and it will control this device with your regular smart TV remote. You don't have to turn this on separately. You don't have to change the volume separately. You can still just use your smart TV remote and you can get great sound. You can see how I have mine set up here is I'm running it through a Fozzy Audio HD A1 amplifier, which is I picked it up used for like $100. It's a good little amp. And then I've got these small little ELAC bookshelf speakers. Now, if you didn't want to deal with the amp, what you could do is get something like the JBL 306Ps, a powered speaker, and you could hook that straight up to the Arylic, and that'll do the trick too. Let's just take a moment. You can say hi to my tarantulas while we're here. Got a handful of them hanging out by my speakers. So yeah, let's see what this thing looks like. So when we jump around and look at the back here, you can just see that you've got a plethora of options here that you can use, but you probably don't need most of this. But I guess the long and the short of it is this DAC can pretty much probably do what you want. Some things that I'll highlight for you here are you've got line in, you've got phono in if you wanted to hook up like a record player or something. You've got RCA outs to run to, that's what runs to your amplifier or your speakers. Coax out, optical out, so you can run this out to just about anything. You can also add a subwoofer. And if you didn't want to use the ARC, you've got USB, you've got USB-C, and you've got optical that can come into, as well as Bluetooth. So all that going to say, this DAC can probably run just about anything you want it to run. But if you want to keep it simple like I do, I'm just running HDMI ARC in, and then I'm just running RCA out, and that works fantastic for me. So let's go into the TV settings and make sure you have that set up correctly too. Okay, so just to show you how simple this is, I'm going to go ahead and turn my TV on. So you can see my TV's firing up, and this isn't anything fancy. Pretty much any TV you're going to get anymore is going to have these smart features in it. This one was, just a cheapo from Walmart here. And then you can see immediately, right, my DAC turns on and it recognizes that it's seeing ARC from the TV. So let's just double check here. So now I'm going to show you my little Roku remote here. Mute volume on the side. If I hit that, you can see immediately, that's changing. And this is directly controlling my DAC. So I've got the speakers to the TV shut off, so I'm only getting the high quality audio from the DAC and from my amp and from my speakers. So you're probably going to have to change a setting in your TV to get this to work, but it's not complicated. But if it's not working right away, you just need to go to your settings and go to audio, and then there's probably an audio output mode here, and you can see that mine is set to ARC and it recognizes the BP50 right there. And that is all you have to do to get this set up and get this working and start getting some great audio out of a TV and you don't have to fiddle with all these other remotes and things. You can still just use your basic smart TV remote. Now, the Arylic remote, it's got, some other features on it that you might want to use. It's got a little bit of EQ in there and stuff. And obviously you can switch if you're going to use anything but ARC, like if you wanted to use optical or Bluetooth or things like that, then you're going to need to use this to switch things, or you can use just the button here to move things too, because this is just a push button to switch things out. But again, I keep it simple in here. All I use this for is the Arc. So let's talk about sound with the Arylic here. Okay, so I figure there's maybe a couple of types of people that are watching this video. You're not an audiophile, but you do want to get some better sound out of like your TV, right? If you're one of those people, this DAC sounds fine. Don't worry about sound quality. It sounds perfectly fine, okay? If you're an audiophile and you're nitpicky like me, what I would tell you is this. I think even for you guys, as long as you're not going to be super anal about it, I don't think you have anything to worry about. I was using previously, with this setup, I was using a Topping E30, right? Which is kind of known to be a decent, you know, like $100 DAC. Switching from that to this, I really couldn't tell a difference. And I think that's all I'm going to say about the audio quality of the Arylic here. This isn't a situation where I'm going to, you know, sit here and nitpick the audio quality as long as it sounds good enough. And this definitely sounds good enough, okay? So this device does a great job. It can handle whatever you need it to handle as far as an audio stream, and it sounds good. It sounds good, and it's simple to use, and this is exactly what I wanted for my bedroom setup. If my TV in my living room had Arc, it's an older 4K TV, it doesn't have Arc. If it had Arc, I would have one of these out there too, okay? So it's just a simple way to get decent audio, and then the people in your life that aren't audiophiles, that don't want to deal with extra remotes and things like that, this will satisfy them too, and they'll be off your back and they won't complain about it being too complicated, all right? That's what this thing is about, okay? Getting decent audio in a very streamlined, easy to use way that doesn't complicate your life. So I've been really impressed with the Arylic BP50. They did send this to me for free. I get to keep it, right? That's not really influencing my opinion in any way, because if it didn't work well and sound good, I wouldn't use it and I wouldn't give it a good review. So I hope that's enough for you. What's your experience? Do you use the Arylic? Is it meeting your needs? Did you find it lacking? Go ahead and drop any of those, you know, comments down below. Is there another DAC like this that's maybe cheaper that could do the same thing, that doesn't need all this stuff, right? Because the Arylic's, you know what, $150, $170, so it's not exactly a cheap DAC, but it's also not super expensive either. If there was a cheaper one in like the $50 or $100 range that could do this, I think that would be a great option for people to know about too. So thanks to Arylic for sending it out. Thanks to you guys for watching. I appreciate you. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one.